Is this event important, Raudel?
Well, it's important for us because we want to put Edinburgh in its best light. And the way to do that when we're going to a conference or a convention is to make sure that we have all the information possible. And so one of the things that we wanted to do in preparation for the ICSC show in Las Vegas next month is to make sure that all our real estate stakeholders have enough information about what we're doing, and we have enough information about what's going on in their listings, their properties, and their projects as well. So one of the things we wanted to make sure that they understood is that Edinburgh is going through some explosive growth right now. Our residential construction numbers are through the roof right now. For the first 3 months, almost $50 million in construction in both multifamily and single-family residential. And then our commercial is $37 million for the first 3 months, plus another $13 million in renovations. So existing companies are growing and new companies are coming in. And so that's a lot of retail, a lot of office space, a lot of institutional space. So a lot of that is just continuing to make Edinburgh that much better for us. And so we want to make sure that we're getting all the information. That was important. We also want to share some of the things that we do. We do some things that help market properties for these landowners. Excuse me. Help market properties for these landowners. Also, we do incentivize retailers, or we incentivize the end users for office space if they meet certain qualifications, obviously. And one of the programs that we've come up with is a recruitment program, which is basically a sales tax rebate. A percentage of the sales tax that they generate can go back to the retailer based on certain criteria, certain factors being met. So we look at capital investment, we look at job creation, and we even look at how they get involved in the community, and then the number of sales that they generate. And so based on all those different factors, we've tried to establish something that is equitable for the mom and pops and for the national chains. And so that's part of what we were doing. And again, sharing some of the information on some of the developments that are going on right now, some of the office space that's available, some of the lease space that's available for retail, and then the land that's available for future development as well.
Going back to the ICSC you just mentioned, we hear about that every year, and I know lots of the economic development corporations in the Valley attend that event in Las Vegas. Why is that conference in particular important to you, and how many of our developers from the Valley attend it?
Well, I'm not sure how many developers or brokers actually attend, but there's quite a few. We've had a very strong contingency from the Valley go to the ICSC show in Dallas or in Fort Worth over the years. And then in Las Vegas, it's a national show. So a higher reach, if you will, in terms of trying to reach out to the different franchisees that are out there, the franchises that are looking for something in South Texas, and even the larger developers who are now looking at making investments in us, because now we are at that stage where there's more synergy for them. It makes more sense because we're larger in terms of population. Our income levels have grown over the years, and so that's the kind of thing that developers and retailers are looking at, the disposable income. So it's very important for us to get out there. And why retail? Because it's a quality of life issue. When we're attracting our manufacturers and we're attracting the office users that we want to attract that pay the higher paying jobs, a lot of those folks are looking at the quality of life. And so our quality of life factors include the green space that we have to offer, the bird watching, the camping, the skiing, the fishing, all of that is great. But it also includes making sure that people have the needs that they are looking for in terms of restaurants and retailers available. And so we just want to present those opportunities that we have here to other people that are outside the area.
And then going back to the growth of Edinburgh, you were saying in today's meeting that the population of Edinburgh right now is 102,000, and the growth rate's about 2% a year. Yet your sales tax revenues in growth terms, far exceeding that, which tells us that people are coming to Edinburgh to shop.
Absolutely.
Or coming here to work and shop.
Absolutely. Our unemployment is the second lowest in the Rio Grande Valley. It's at 5.3% the last couple of months. And it's going to continue to be one of the lower ones in the valley because we have that strong growth both in the residential market and in the real estate market, in retail, and of course the job creation that's going on. Our hospitals are continuing to expand. Driscoll is going to be opening up 190 beds or so. That facility is going to hire a lot of people, and so that's going to continue to play a part in our lower unemployment rate. So, and they're higher salaries, so those folks have disposable income. So the growth in Edinburg has just been phenomenal over the last couple of years, and our retail sales tax has continued to grow. Right now we're at 14% above last year, the same month last year. 8% above the year on a year-to-date basis, and that's after we had double-digit growth last year. So you add all of that up, and you continue to see sales tax growth that's higher than our population growth, which means that people from outside are coming in, or we're getting our incomes that much higher, and we're spending that much more.
And another factor, you gave a shout out to UTRGV and the athletics program they're expanding.
Yes.
But that's going to be big.
Yes, UTRGV is of course going to start Division I football, expanding some of their other athletic programs as well, and they're building facilities here in Edinburg that are going to help train those folks and get them ready for that D1 football that we're all excited about. They're spending $40 million on the first facility, and it's right here in Edinburg. Over time, it's going to be probably closer to $70 million that they're going to be spending here in Edinburg, and that just continues to contribute to the economy. Not only is that money rotated in the wages that are being paid to the construction workers, but those workers are then spending money here locally, and then it just continues to circulate.
And you mentioned an incentives package that you can offer for the retail market. Do you want to expand on the changes you're introducing there?
Well, we just want to make something, we're trying to adopt a program that is equitable to both the mom and pops and the national chains. And the way we do that is by basically setting out a couple of factors where we're looking at. We're looking at capital investment, we're looking at job creation and well-paying jobs, and also at the sales tax generation. But there's other factors that we look at. We look at how much community involvement that retailer has. So the more they're giving back to the community, the higher the percentage of sales tax that will be pushed back to them. And it's really a sales tax rebate program, something that's been done in other cities. It's not anything that's new, it's just something that's different for us. And it's just trying to make it a little bit more equitable. Now, on a case-by-case basis, we're still going to look at retailers that are first in market, that are unique to us, and see if they can do something different. Everything has to be approved by the board and then by city council. So the only thing that's changing is that we're trying to make sure that everybody's treated equitably.
Well, the last question I had, Mayor Raudel Garza was here, and you made the point that while you said Edinburg is booming, which I'd like, that's a very positive thing for us to end on here, you also said the city's very much aware, the mayor's aware that with that comes the need to invest in infrastructure.
Absolutely. We have close to 4,000 lots, residential lots that are in the process of being subdivided and platted or are already platted. And so that's going to mean a lot more growth, a lot more population, a lot more demand for the services, for the water, the sewer, the sanitary sewer, and even telecom. All of that means that we have to prepare for that. And the city is working on expansions of water capacity through new water towers, of water treatment plant expansions, and infrastructure in terms of extension of utilities. So we want to make sure that we're preparing not just for the current growth, but future growth as well. Transportation, we're looking at expanding certain roadways that are minor or major arterials so that people can move through the city faster and with less hiccups and headaches. So yeah, it's all part of the growing pains that we go through, but we're excited about it.
So I thought of one more question. With all this growth, have you got a figure in mind as to where you think Edinburgh's population could be, say 20 years from now? Have you seen any numbers, any projections out there? We're now at 102,000.
Yeah, 20 years from now, they're talking about us being, in 2040, being probably close to 150,000 in terms of our city limit population. The area, the region's going to continue to grow. We're at about 1.2, 1.3 right now in the metropolitan statistical area. We're probably going to be at 2 million in 20 years, if not more. So it's exciting.
It is. Well, Raudel, thank you so much. We've learned so much today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, we just have to continue to plan properly, treat people fairly, and make sure that we have all our ducks in a row in terms of infrastructure.
Thank you, Raudel Garza, Executive Director of the Edinburg EDC. Thank you so much for today's interview.
You're welcome.